It's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest is Sam Pedroza. He is Mayor Pro Tem of the beautiful city of Claremont. We thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Cities throughout the state are up in arms over a proposal to eliminate redevelopment agencies and enterprise zones. The governor has said it would save about $2 billion to the state. What's your position?
Well, we agree. Everyone knows that the state has some deep financial issues, but redevelopment agencies are economic engines, and we just don't agree that that's the avenue that the state ought to take. We're creating jobs, we're creating revenue for the state, and it's a great tool that has been very useful.
Well, here's what's interesting. The California Redevelopment Association has said that redevelopment agencies create maybe 300,000 jobs,
Right.
whereas the Chief Legislative Analyst's Office says there's no reliable evidence that redevelopment creates jobs. I mean, here we go with the dueling studies. Who do we believe?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. In Claremont alone, we've been able to generate $3.4 million in terms of economic improvements. And we brought several stores, several commercial and home building. So we've been able to show the results of our redevelopment agency.
But then the question becomes, the way the redevelopment works is that you, the city, will provide subsidies or tax breaks or other types of incentives to corporations so that they will build. I mean, one could argue that's corporate welfare. And do we need to give corporations more welfare in light of the fact that California has, significant tax breaks otherwise?
Well, you could look at it as welfare, but really it's been a tool to help and even provide an incentive to developers to come to the city. Otherwise, we have no other offerings. We can make the process easier, but again, that's dependent on the state requirements.
Sam, I got to ask you. We have been covering politics. We have been following politics for our whole lives. We're those people. What's amazing to me about this debate is how quickly and with tremendous alacrity it seems like every city, every county unified went to Sacramento and said, back off. Why this issue? Why was this issue such a galvanizing force?
Well, Prop 22 won with over 60% of the voters' support.
And what that said for our viewers is it prevented the state from dipping into redevelopment dollars to balance their budget.
Right, and Californians agreed. This could be it seems as it's the backlash from Sacramento back to local government and going after redevelopment agencies, looking at, there's over 20 bills looking at our pension issues, yet what about the state pension issue? So I think it's part of a backlash that we could maybe work together as opposed to having a backlash.
Another question is, when I interview individuals from cities and counties, every one of you wants to talk about this.
Right.
Everyone. So I guess what I want to understand for our viewers is, how does it impact me and you? Why should viewers care? Why should voters care about redevelopment agencies?
Well, it definitely has an impact in how our cities end up looking like. We have very limited tools in terms of what we can do to incentivize businesses. This is the strongest tool that we have. Now, how are we going to secure that? And if we do have this taken away, then what else are we going to be given? Instead of having more obligations and more mandates to meet, perhaps we could maybe we could take a different direction.
There needs
to be a give and take.
In our final moments, would you be willing to consider tinkering with how redevelopment dollars are spent? Because we do hear about some serious
Absolutely, and that's been discussed many times in the past, where maybe the sales tax ought to be sent up to Sacramento, and we could keep and maintain more of our property tax.
Come back. I want to continue the
Absolutely.
conversation. His name is Sam Pedroza. He is with the city of Claremont, the Mayor Pro Tem. I'm Brad Pomerance. Back to HLN.
Thank you.